Today, I want to talk about weight loss. Help! I really want to lose weight, but I can't. Why can I not succeed? What is going on? So let's have a look what might be the reason why you haven't been able to lose weight if this is something that you want to do. Now, I really believe that it's okay to want to lose weight. If for some people they will benefit from weight loss, so there are some physical advantages for some people if they notice that it really starts affecting their health, their mental health, their physical health. But also some people will experience some restrictions in their movement. So they might decide, you know what, I want to lose a little bit of weight so that I don't have this bump in front of my hips. So I've got more mobility flexibility. So at the end of the day, we're all adults and we can choose whatever we want to do as long as we do it for the right reasons and also in the right way. So first of all, I want to talk about the very common mistakes that people make when they attempt weight loss. The first mistake is very common. People go on immediate, very restrictive diet. Yeah, so they restrict calories, way too many calories. They start cutting out entire food groups. Stop eating chocolate, stop eating cakes, stop eating carbs, no sugar, no gluten, all sorts of different rules, different things that they start cutting out. So the entire focus is on, I can't eat this, can't eat that, and the focus is really on elimination. That causes deprivation. That is really against our human psychology, because naturally we are wired to avoid pain and to seek pleasure. That's the way our brain is wired. So what happens is then when we go on those very restrictive diets and start focusing on elimination, that creates that emotional pain. And that's why after a certain while, especially when, let's say, you had a long day, you had a really stressful day, you had an argument with someone, that's when you start losing it and come home and just say, you know what? Beep it all. I am just gonna have chocolate. I'm just gonna have a pizza. I'm just gonna have a wine. So you naturally will go to things that give you that pleasure. And if you've learned that food gives you that pleasure, then that's what you will do as well. And that's how we go into the all or nothing mentality. And then usually people then go, you know what, now kind of I've given up, now I've fallen off the wagon, so I will continue for the rest of the day, for the rest of the weekend. And for some people it really goes on for weeks, if not even months. So our brain goes into that survival mode because it feels like there is scarcity, there is not enough food. And it also creates stress because you're constantly worrying about doing it right. You're worrying about if there is food available and you see cake is available and you think, oh my God, I'm gonna gain weight just by looking at it. And it's funny because some people say it seems like if I only look at food, I already gain weight. Now, let me talk to you about cortisol and why that expression might actually have some truth. Now, when there is fear, when there is anxiety, when there is stress, when there is perceived stress, it might not even be real stress, but perceived stress, that already is elevating cortisol levels in our body. So our stress hormone, cortisol, adrenaline, they go up, they get elevated. When that happens, we start storing body fat. And in thoughts, even like you look in the mirror and you feel judgment towards yourself. Oh my God, I'm so disgusting and I'm so fat and this looks really horrible on me. I feel shame of being seen like that. You see, that create, even thoughts like that creates elevates the cortisol. So you look at food and a piece of cake and you're really scared of it because you think you will gain weight from it. Exactly the same happens. That's why you actually do it can lead to weight gain or fat storage by feeling fear towards food, because actually there is your body increases cortisol. So that's the second second mistake that people do. There is a lot of judgment, there is a lot of fear, which causes stress and anxiety, and which can then lead to fat storage. So that's the second mistake that people make. The third mistake that I constantly see is people do not address the root cause for their weight gain. Okay, so a lot of the time they gain weight, see the neighbor or their best friend or the husband or the wife go on a certain diet and then go, okay, that sounds good, maybe I should do that too. And they go on that diet. And then that doesn't work because, again, they follow restrictions, they only focus on what to eliminate. They can't sustain it, and then after a while drop it. Next time they go on another diet because, well, that sounds good, other people do that as well, so I might as well try it again. So we start doing these random diets, random things that we think will lead to weight loss. Now, some of it are more successful than others, but a lot of them are not sustainable. That's because we do not address what is actually happening. What is the reason for my weight? Now, one is maybe your body feels actually comfortable where it is. Okay, sometimes our mind tells us we should be here, but it's actually not manageable for us to stay in that weight without really constantly being very restrictive. So some of us need to actually work not on their weight loss, but more on their mindset about their weight. If, let's say, they eat a good amount of calories, they're moving, they eat really well, and they feel good, and their weight stays where it is, that's maybe where your body needs to be. So that's another topic. That's where we need to accept that that's where our body is comfortable, and at the same time challenging our mind, challenging our stories. Why do we not feel comfortable? What is the story that we're telling ourselves? Why we're not happy there? Yeah. So, and a lot of it will be conditioning. A lot of it will be conditioning by the society, but also the beauty industry. Now, if that's not the case, and if you know, and we know, well, actually, I am overeating. Well, actually, my portion sizes are quite big. Well, actually, I may be even binge eating regularly. Maybe you eat a lot of takeaways, processed food, more than home cooked food. That can also be the reason why you might have extra weight, because you naturally have more calories without knowing it. Yeah, because when we eat a lot of processed food, there will be food that have a lot of there's more fat. Even if, let's say, you go to a restaurant and it's a healthy meal, a lot of the time they add more fats, more oils, more sugar into the dressing, even if it's a salad. So it can also be the reason why there is more weight. Also, of course, we need to look at other reasons like health and hormones, but this is not the topic here. So there are a few different reasons. So it's really important to look at the core reasons, okay, and address those reasons why you might have extra weight. So that's the mistake number 3, not addressing the core reason for your weight gain. So the typical 3 mistakes, like I said, one is following very restrictive diet that is focusing on elimination. Second one, there is judgment and fear, which creates stress for us, which increase the cortisol levels and leads to fat storage, in particular around our stomach area. And mistake number 3 is not addressing the core reason for our weight gain. Now, what to do instead, right? That is the question, what to do instead. First of all, my suggestion is, and that's what I do with my clients as well, we need to focus on joy and pleasure. Because remember what I said, we naturally seek pleasure, we naturally seek joy. And if there is joy and pleasure, we will naturally be drawn to it. We will not need to have that kick in the bum or force ourselves or have strong willpower or motivation. Because that's another thing that people often say, well, I don't have a motivation. That's because your focus is wrong. Because whatever you are aiming for, there is some subconscious pain. There is some subconscious discomfort. Okay, so maybe it feels like, well, it would be great if I lost weight. I would feel so much better. I would feel so much more confident. But if you naturally focus on, I need to eliminate, I need to stop, I need to do this, I need to do that, then your subconscious knows that there is actually discomfort coming, there is some emotional pain coming, okay, and that's why it will not want you to do that, so you will procrastinate. If there is something that gives you so much joy and pleasure, you don't need motivation. You will feel drawn, you will be excited to get up and do that. So it's really important. How do we do that? Well, first of all, we need to add some movement that brings us joy. I love dancing. I really love dancing. So sometimes in the weekend, my partner and I would go just to a club, just dance, okay? We're not drinking, we don't take any drugs. We just go and dance together. First of all, it's really great for us as a couple, but it also makes you sweat. I used to dance and be part of a dance community, and it's just so much joy and pleasure. It never feels like work or exercise. Also, I personally really love tramping, hiking for my friends outside of New Zealand. I love hiking, so we sometimes would go for a 6-7 hour hike. Now, that's hard work, but it never feels like, oh, I'm here to exercise right now. I do that because I really enjoy that, okay? And most of the time, I just focus on the nature instead of, oh my God, this is so hard. So really find movement that you love and enjoy. There are some maybe classes where you go and you're just having so much fun. Zumba, I've never done that, but I've heard people loving it. So dancing is so great. Maybe you love going for a bike ride with your family. So do movement that really don't feel like exercise. And then also food. Add food. Focus on adding instead of eliminating. What are the foods that you can add that are full of nutrients, that taste good, that satisfy you? So in particular, my suggestion is, I always talk about the balanced diet framework. I will add my book to it. It's just only $4. That's where I teach you to have all food groups, to add food that you enjoy, to keep your blood sugar stable, to have all food groups, carbohydrates, fats, protein. When you eat that way, you will notice that you will crave less of chocolate and sugar and things like that, okay? Also, add chocolate, add biscuits, whatever that is that you enjoy. Add it to your daily diet plan. Know when you're gonna have it, plan how much you're gonna have it, and then just enjoy eating that, okay? Then you will not feel like you're restricting, but you know that, okay, it's coming, so I'm gonna have that. And you will see that you will stop constantly thinking about food, obsessing over food, and you will stop having that fear and anxiety to do things right, and we bring the cortisol levels down. That means we're not gonna gain weight every time we look at food, okay? So really focus on keeping your stress levels down as much as you can. And then also, again, how do we create joy and pleasure? Working on our mindset. And the trick that I do with my clients is, what we need to do is we need to create that compelling future, compelling vision, knowing and keeping that in our mind, visualizing it every day. What is it going to look like when you live that life that we've got that health, where you are doing all these activities you do, when you eat food that you enjoy, what are you wearing, who are the people you spend time with, where are you going, are you traveling, are you tramping, are you going on certain tramps and hikes, are you going to the beach, are you enjoying time with your family and friends and really loving every moment? So what are the things that you're doing? Are you wearing clothes that you really love and feel amazing in them? Is there a certain dress that you'd love to wear? And that's what we need to do when we keep that future, that compelling future in our mind, when we start creating those pictures and bring those emotions and feelings into our mind and our body right now. You see, I can feel that excitement right this moment. Now, when I feel excited, I'm less likely to go and binge on chocolate. I'm more likely to go on a walk, to listen to a podcast, and just feel good. Maybe even book my next trip to on holidays, okay? Which I'm going to go on Monday as well. So you see, we need to use the psychology, the human psychology, which is seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and then creating a plan. So know exactly what you want, have that compelling future, and then have an exact plan how you're going to get there. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And then close this gap by taking daily actions. Daily focus, just one meal at a time, one activity at a time. Know where you're going, but at the same time, don't focus too much on it. What really matters is what you do every day. It adds up, and then you create. That's how you get that goal. That's how to achieve that goal. That's how you get that life that you really love and want. These are my tricks. These are my tips to focus on weight loss if this is really what you want. So it's okay. If this is what you want, just address it. Address what's happening, what's really going on, and then be very specific what you do, and also then start taking daily little actions that will then add up to that goal that you want to achieve. So enjoy.